my name is Masha and today I'm going to show you all the bracelets that I've made since my last wrap-up video. And we're also going to be doing a new challenge. Now I'm going to put these down because it's actually quite difficult to hold everything at once. I want to start this video off by thanking you, and I have two things to thank you for. My book, The Beginner's Guide to Friendship Bracelets, is on its second printing. That means that you guys sold out the entire first printing of a book. So many books don't make it to second printing, and I was expecting to be among those. But you guys have shown this book so much love that there is now a second edition of it. We have fixed the typos that were annoying me. There were only a couple, and the second edition is now available to purchase. This is a photo tutorial book aimed at beginners going from the basics to the more advanced stuff. It's available worldwide anywhere you typically buy books. If you're unsure about shipping to your country, you can reach out to my publisher via the link in the description. Thank you guys so much for all the love you've shown my book. I truly appreciate it, and I never could have imagined that this is where it would be, so thank you so much. I also want to thank you for the patience that you have shown. The previous challenge was for you to make a bracelet with 2 colors only. So many of you guys submitted your gorgeous friendship bracelets. I love to see all of them, and I appreciate you participating in the challenge and also being so patient with me. It's been 6 months. I wasn't intending for it to be 6 months, but it was, and I appreciate every single one of you that participated in the challenge. I hope you had fun. I really loved seeing your bracelets, and in fact, I love seeing your bracelets whether or not you participate in challenges, so just send me photos of your bracelets. I love that at all times. But there is also going to be another challenge towards the end of this video, so if you want to stick around for that and participate in the next one. Hopefully the next wrap-up video will be in less than 6 months, but you never know. That's also why I don't do deadlines for these challenges. They just kind of happen whenever they do. But thank you guys so much for participating. I love it. I love the challenges that we do here. It's always so fun for me to look back on. So thank you so much. So today I'm going to show you the bracelets that I've made since my last wrap-up. It was 6 months ago, and I'll start with the bracelets that I did for the challenge. So as a reminder, the challenge was to make a bracelet with only 2 colors. Because I am extra, I made 8 of them. These are the Greek wave bracelets that I made. It is an entire collection. I just couldn't stop myself when I was picking the colors, so I made 8 of them. And these are what they all look like. I do really love them. It was a pain to make, I'm not gonna lie to you. There are 8 bracelets. And also I was trying to do them in segments, so I'd like do one part of each bracelet, take pictures, do another part of each bracelet, take more pictures, etc. So I started all the bracelets at the same time, I finished all the bracelets at the same time. It was a lot, and it took a ridiculous amount of time. I don't recommend doing that, unless you really want to. But I have 8 bracelets now, and as you can see, I've been starting to wear my bracelets out more as well, and so I've actually worn pretty much every single one of these, I think, and now I match them to my outfits and stuff, and also the Greek wave pattern is just like such a classic. I think that it just goes with everything. I really do love it. So I do recommend making this bracelet, just maybe not 8 of them, and maybe at least not at once. So there is a tutorial for this bracelet. Everything that I mentioned, all the patterns, all the tutorials, all the videos, anything, are always going to be linked in the description. So you can go there if you would like to. Definitely a fun one. Again, maybe don't do 8 at the same time. But that's my submission for the challenge, and I think that they turned out very nicely. Next up, and I'm not going chronologically, just whatever is closest to me, we have this bracelet. Now this bracelet pattern is very special to me. It used to be my absolute favorite pattern when I was first starting to make friendship bracelets. I say that probably about 2 years into my bracelet making journey, because for the first year I didn't even know you could do patterns. I was just making candy stripes and then chevrons. So once I finally figured out that you can make patterns, this was like the first big pattern I ever tried, and I loved it. And I made so many of these in so many different colors. I remember sitting in class in school and just making a bracelet quietly under my desk without anybody noticing, because I had like pinned it to my jeans or something. So this is a very special pattern to me. I haven't made it in a really long time. I have a video actually where I'm remaking the same bracelet from back then, and it is this pattern. It's not this bracelet, but it is this pattern. I'll leave that linked as well, because I think that's really cool to just like see your progression over the years, because my knotting has changed a lot. And I can see even here, it's a lot tighter. It's a lot like closer together, whereas when I was starting out, they were a lot more stretchier and looser. Neither of which are a good or bad thing. It's just different, you know, and I find that very interesting. So that video that I made was quite interesting because of that. But this is a different video. This one, I was doing an experiment. I had a really cool manicure. I really loved the set of nails that I did, and I thought that it would be really fun to match my bracelet to my nails. So I tried to pick out colors that matched my nails, because I had several colors. I had a fancy design with some stripes, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick out some of the colors that match my nails and make a bracelet. And I decided on this pattern. I chose the colors. I thought that they fit quite well. and I made this. Whenever I do this, I feel like one of those 2016 YouTube beauty gurus, like, you know, oh, here's my product. But if I don't do this, then it focuses on my face. So that's the secret. And also the lighting changes. That's why everyone did that back in the day. But anyway, I haven't filmed a video with my face in like 6 months, so I might be a bit rambly today. This is how the bracelet turned out. I don't love it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually don't think that this is really great. It is a fine bracelet. The bracelet itself is fine. But for what I was trying to do, I don't think it works really well. I was trying to match it to the nails that I had, and you'll have to watch the video to see them because obviously it's been months, different nails. But I don't think they matched very well. It had a very specific design. It had like stripes across it. There was a primary color and some of the stripes. And I think that didn't work because all of the colors here kind of have equal weight, equal time. There's an equal amount of them in the bracelet, whereas with the stripes, obviously, like for it to match, I think I had pink mainly, and then like the other colors were intertwined. I think a different pattern would have worked better for it. The bracelet itself is fine, but I don't think it matched very well for what I was trying to achieve. But I really liked the concept. I liked the concept of matching my nails to my bracelets. So I went the opposite direction. I came to my wonderful nail lady who supports me in these stupid ideas. Thank you to her. And I came to her with a set of patterns and a set of like colors that I basically wanted to match my nails to. So I went the opposite way. I actually ended up bringing, because I wanted to have them be green, I ended up bringing my entire bag of green strings to this nail appointment, dumping them out in front of her and being like, can you help me figure out a nail color that works with any of these strings? And she did that because she is amazing and I love her, she's great. And so I made 3 bracelets to match my nails. And not only that, not only did we match them in color, but she also did a little frog design on my nails, which was so cute. I really loved that set. That was one of my favorite sets we've ever done. It was also the most complicated. I think I spent like 3 hours in her chair. But these are the bracelets that came of that. I've been meaning to make these bracelets for a while anyway, and so I thought this would be a really fun idea to kind of incorporate. And of course, these are shaped alphas as well. Let me show you so you can actually have a look closer. You see how the eyes kind of pop out on each of the little frogs, and I kind of used that as a bit of a tutorial as well. I think I mainly did these for a Not With Me if I remember correctly, but there is a tutorial on shaped alphas that I posted just before that, so I'll link both of those in the description in case you want to do them. I also did a tutorial for this specific pattern over on TikTok because I was experimenting with format to see if that worked. So you can also follow me there if you want to see some exclusive content, because I can only post 60 seconds. Actually, no, I think it's 3 minutes now. I think it is 3 minutes now on YouTube. They just changed that. Anyway, I really love these patterns. I think they're cool. I made 3 of them. Well, they're slightly different, but I made 3 of them and I really like them. Moving on, we have this zigzag bracelet. I don't have too much to say on this one, to be honest, other than I like it. I like the colors, I like the design, I like the bracelet. I did a tutorial on it. It's actually quite easy to do, so if you want to make it, you can. I think the colors work really well here. I think it's really cute. And I have worn this bracelet out a few times. I think the pastel colors kind of go with a lot of the stuff that I wear. I also recommend making this one if you haven't already. As I said, there is a tutorial. It'll be linked. And then we have this bracelet, which isn't really connected to any video. I say that as I remember that I actually filmed this for a Not With Me, so it's not a tutorial, but there is a video. I forgot about that. But I started this bracelet when I was kind of in a bracelet slump. I hadn't at that point made a bracelet in like a month and a half maybe. This was also while I was in Russia and I didn't have all of my strings with me, and so I just kind of searched around the flat and I found some strings that I had from when I was last there. And I decided, okay, these are the only colors that I have. Let me figure out what pattern I can make. I looked through my to-dos, I looked at the amount of colors that I had, and I picked this pattern, which had been in my to-dos for several years. And so I kind of made this as a way to get myself out of a bracelet slump and just kind of sit down and make something. And I quite like how it turned out. It's got a lot of cat hair in it though. Whenever there are pets around, it is inescapable, honestly. I try. I even have tweezers specifically for pulling cat hair out of my bracelets, and it still somehow gets in there because they love rubbing up on the strings and fighting me for the strings and trying to eat the strings. And also just in general, like I'm filming, I'm literally sitting here filming, and they jump in front of my camera and shove their butt in it. And I'm like, cool, thanks. Very helpful. Love it. But here is the bracelet. I do really love it, and I think the colors that I had work really well here, but I can also imagine so many other color combinations that would work really well in this bracelet. Next up, we have this bracelet, which was made in the same era, so like within a week, I think, of that one. And for the same reasons, I also started this bracelet to kind of continue getting myself out of the bracelet slump. I decided to go with a really big one for whatever reason, because I guess if you're getting out of a bracelet slump, you might as well just go dive headfirst into the deep end and make a huge one. But I do really love the colors here. I think it worked out really well as well. It's kind of reverse arrowhead, reverse double arrowhead. because usually you make an arrowhead kind of this way, or at least I do. This is the other way, because I was making from this way down, like that. I also filmed this one for a Not With Me. If you would like to watch that, that will be linked in the description. I think the colors here give a very autumnal vibe, kind of a sunset over the sea maybe. I don't know, I love it. And I've got 2 twisted ties coming out of it as well. Which, top tip, if you're making a loop, you need to do 2 twisted ties because you put one through the loop, you don't put the other one through the loop, and then you tie them together. People ask me how to tie a bracelet with loops a lot. That's how you do it. Sometimes if I have a big bracelet and I'm not making a loop, I'll make 2 ties on either side of that anyway, just because it's easier to split the strings up and not have like one really thick tie. But I do find that very annoying because then you have to kind of tie 2 sets of knots. That said, it has helped me not lose my bracelets because despite double knotting it every time I put it on, they do sometimes come undone. And there was one time where I didn't lose a bracelet because it had 2 ties on either side, so yay! I was also traveling, and I think that was in like Germany or somewhere. It was this year. Anyway, we've got 3 bracelets left. And this bracelet with the distorted stripes, I really, really love this one, genuinely. Like, I really love any kind of pattern that has some kind of a visual effect, which you will see later on, like some kind of a distortion that messes with your eyes a little bit when you look at it. These bracelets are usually so easy. And this is one of them. I think there's like one repeating row in this one. Yeah, there's literally 1 repeating row here. And it's so genuinely, this is so easy to make. I'm not lying to you, this is so simple. This is pretty much a candy stripe with like minimal variation. There's not even any reverse knots in it. It's literally just forward and just backward knots. So definitely recommend this one. And I have a tutorial on it, of course. So that'll be linked in the description. But I also just love the colors that I chose here. I don't know. I just love these kinds of bracelets. They look so much more complicated than they are to make. And also I tend to make bracelets that have some kind of a border, like an outline to the pattern in any kind of way. I say that as none of the bracelets that I've shown today really have that, other than maybe this. Well, actually I guess this one also has a border, it's just white. But that's typically what I make, and I've been challenging myself to try and make bracelets that don't have that, and only have just like colors interacting with each other, if that makes sense. So definitely recommend this one. You guys also really seem to enjoy this bracelet over on TikTok and Instagram. I think they are the highest views I've ever received for a short form video, so thank you for that. And I hope you enjoy making this bracelet if you do. I wear this one out a lot nowadays. I love it. And we're catching up to my most recent bracelets. This is the most recent tutorial bracelet that I posted, and I think it kind of continues that trend of kind of interesting looking bracelets that have like some kind of visual distortion effect. I don't know. I just like the way that the colors change within the little triangles. I just think the pattern is cool. And I love any kind of rainbow bracelet. I like to alternate the kinds of colors that I use for the rainbow, but I think these work really well. This one is a little bit more difficult, and in the tutorial I go quite quickly. I give you a fair warning that this is kind of a more advanced bracelet, so whereas this one was super easy, 1 repeating row, no reverse knots, this one just has a lot of steps into it, so only really go for this tutorial if you've made a few bracelets and you're like comfortable making the knots, as I do go quite fast and I group a bunch of knots together as I explain them. But if you're feeling up for it, definitely a really fun bracelet to try. Much recommended. And finally, last but not least, we have this bracelet. I just really love this one. I think the colors are so cute. I think the pattern is really cute. Kind of reminds you of a picnic blanket, those kinds of vibes. And it was quite easy to make as well. Here is a closer look into the pattern. One thing that I would definitely recommend is making sure that the 2 colors that you choose, other than the white, have enough contrast between them, because otherwise it can blend in. I filmed a tutorial for this bracelet, but I actually filmed a tutorial with a different bracelet. And I don't think I got the colors right in that one. I think the colors were too close together. And that's quite hard to tell when you're first choosing the colors, because they might look different enough, but in the bracelet, as you make it, you just see that it doesn't quite work. I can't find the other bracelet that I was making, but I'll insert a picture for you to see. I just think that the contrast wasn't there and it ended up blending in a little bit too much, which is why I say make sure that the contrast is good enough when you are making this bracelet. But I do have a tutorial for it if you want to make it. It's really fun. And now I'm looking at it. It really reminds me of the bracelet that I'm currently wearing. It's not the same pattern, they are actually different. And I do have a tutorial for both. This one is the woven friendship bracelet, which will also be linked in the description. And that's it. Those are all of the bracelets that I made since my last wrap up. I've got a whole bouquet of them. Do you know how hard it is to do the thumbnails for these bracelets? I actually have to hold everything. It takes a lot of arranging to be able to achieve that. So now let's talk about the new challenge. Full disclosure, I really honestly don't know when the next wrap-up video is going to be. I'm hoping it's not going to be another 6 months, but it might be. So if you want to participate in the challenge, please do, but there is no deadline. It's kind of a vague make bracelets post to the hashtag kind of thing, and we'll get there when we get there. But I try to make these challenges fun for you, regardless of the time frame. I think limiting yourself in any kind of creative sphere causes you to then be more creative. And this is kind of the spirit with any of these challenges. I find that with anything I do, whenever I set myself limitations, it then forces me to kind of think outside the box. Even when I'm like making a house in The Sims or journaling, you know, like any other hobby that I have, I kind of adopt this mindset everywhere. So that's what I'm going with these challenges. So for this challenge, I want you to make a bracelet with a multicolored string. That said, if you don't have access to a string that actually changes color within the string, you can still participate in this challenge by changing the colors within the bracelet. So kind of imitating multicolored string, faking it, if you will. You do that by literally changing the active string that you're working with. Similarly to how you do in alpha bracelets, you can do this with normal bracelets as well. Kind of like when a string runs out, you would then replace it. You can do that and literally change colors. I have a tutorial for this and also a couple of patterns that I tried this with as inspiration. So you can do it that way, or you can literally just use a string that changes color and have that be your multicolored string. Any kind of bracelet type works for this. There are no other restrictions. Make a bracelet that fits the criteria if you want to participate in the challenge. Post it to Instagram or on my Discord server. If you're doing Instagram, make sure to use the hashtag Masha's multicolors. And again, to my fellow Brits out there, I apologize for the misspelling of colors, but there are more Americans in my audience, so I'm trying to make it a little bit simple for the majority of people. But make sure to use that hashtag, post to Instagram. Also tag me in the post, it just makes it easier for me to find. And if you're using Discord, then there is a channel on my Discord server where you can put your pictures. There's a separate channel to discuss pictures, so try to please keep that separate, otherwise it's more difficult for me to find the pictures when I go to collect them for the wrap-up video. But that's how you participate in the challenge if you want to, and there is no prize for this. This is not a competition necessarily, it's just for fun, and some of your bracelets will be featured in my next wrap-up. So thank you so much for participating in my previous challenge. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much if you want to participate in the next one. I will also be participating. I'll show you the bracelets that I create in the next wrap-up for that. Before I go, I want to give a special shout out to my patrons. It is with their support that I'm able to continue creating videos on this channel. I truly appreciate that. If you also want to become a patron and support the work that I do here, the tutorials that I put out and all of the other videos as well, the link to my Patreon is always in the description. As I said, my book, The Beginner's Guide to Friendship Bracelets, is out on its second printing now. It is available anywhere you typically buy books. There is also a link in the description if you want to use that instead. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and maybe found some inspiration for some bracelets that you would like to try, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!